Hello everyone, Jamie Hall, Definitive Imaging here, back again for another interview. Welcome to the new studio space. It's a work in progress, but we'll get there. Just want to jump on really quickly and do this intro to talk about one or two things about my time in WA before we get into chatting with Flynn. Just in regards to the video was super just off the cuff, a bit impromptu. I didn't really take any lighting or anything like that, so I just very quickly smashed together a quick couple of camera setup for this interview. We just used the natural light, which was at the end of the day, and it was after a hard day shooting, so the light just got worse and more horrible, and we're not exactly dressed to impress. So a very bare bones interview, this one for sure, but the content is really good, and Flynn is just an absolute wealth of knowledge, one of the absolute best to do it in regards to Maratus and Peacock spiders, and it was just such an honour to shoot with him for my time in WA, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to jump on quickly, not just to shout out Flynn, but all the guys that we met up with over there. Always wanted to shoot peacocks and to be able to get guided by some of the best in the world at peacock spiders hunting and IDing and photographing and filming is beyond a privilege. Can't believe our luck that we managed to go out there, me, Ben and Brendan, and meet up with just such cool, accommodating and nice guys. So shout out to Flynn, to Moz, to Michael and to Paul for just being awesome hosts. But apart from that, let's get into it. Let's talk about Maratus with the legend Flynn Prall. Hello, Jamie Hall, Definitive Imaging here. For anyone who might have seen, I have popped over to the other side of Australia, Western Australia, WA, to film and shoot some peacock spiders. And one of the main reasons I'm doing that is for this man, Flynn. Is it Prall or Prall?
Prall. Yeah. Yep.
Flynn Prall, who you may have seen. He's certainly become one of the sort of biggest names as far as Maratus and peacock spiders have been going, with some pretty awesome reels, and they've become a huge passion for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. For my first start of the journey in macro, I kind of just avoided filming because it was so hard to get into. I didn't know anything about it, but obviously living near all these Maratus, I've just seen how good it is to actually show off their dance moves and stuff like that, and it's really awesome to see people all around the world losing their minds to these crazy little jumping spiders. So yeah, I'm really loving it, and it's cool to have you guys over here.
Thanks, mate. So came here obviously feeling like I was reasonably okay at shooting and macro and all that sorts of stuff, but when you start looking at subjects that are 2 to 4 mil, everything just changes. So I don't want to say I was overconfident, but I probably thought I'd be able to do all right. But what I've certainly found is just the time and persistence you need to get this stuff. Like, I hate to think how many hours you've actually put into getting some of these videos.
Yeah.
Like, you must have hours under your belt.
Yeah, it's not many people understand that. Like, I'll drive 4 hours for a certain species of Maratus, and you'll get screwed by weather or just timing. You haven't found the right time of the month, and I just don't get it. So then I go drive another 4 hours next weekend, and people are like, what are you doing, but eventually I get the shot I was after, and it pays off, and I just love it. So yeah.
So these Maratus, these tiny little peacock jumping spiders, they're only in colour for a certain amount of time. It does sort of vary. We're in September now, which I think is when most of them are in colour.
Yeah.
But they're in colour for a month, couple of months, most of them?
Yeah. You can definitely find some species all year round, but majority is now, this springtime. It's just like the flowers.
And Flynn isn't just videoing these guys and sort of becoming a social media legend, but you're integral in some of the science of all this. So Maratus, the first one was discovered just over 100 and something years ago, was it? And even 5 years ago, there was only, 40 species known or something?
Yeah, around 2010, there was only 10 species known. And then since a few videos and a few more bird photographers getting into Maratus and seeing how cool they actually are, and a bunch of guys looking for them, we've got over 100 species now. Just,
And how many have you found yourself, discovered?
So me and my good mate James McMulkin, we've discovered 2 new species.
Awesome.
But we've found 3 or 4 colour morphs of species that have never been seen. So that's cool as well, yeah. It's just, you pick a bit of bush that no one's looked in, and more often than not you'll find something that's never been seen. So there's always that factor there. So it's always exciting going out, so yeah.
And Flynn's been pretty integral in terms of helping actually get these described, which means they get sent to scientists. So you're collecting samples with some other guys as well, and helping some of the entomologists and the other researchers, I'm not sure what they call themselves, but actually get these on the register, which ultimately helps in terms of protection and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we've been doing that the last few seasons where they've sent us a list, and Jonah and Joseph have actually come over, Joseph Scoobert and Jonah Walker, and we've helped them collect species that have already been described, but they use their genetics, and now they're getting such a big pool that they can put them in this worldwide genetic kind of catalogue, and now they're actually in the whole system, so they can be looked at and protected a lot better now. So they're in the system.
World perspective, rather than just local.
Because not much is known about them still. A lot of things are still in the dark. So yeah, it's really cool to be a part of that. Yeah, citizen scientist, anyone can do it. But it's really nice to help out. So.
And it's really funny because we were saying these there were only 10 species in 2010.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
And then they're really, really numerous. There's clearly healthy populations all over Australia. You'll find them from, I don't know how far north they go, but pretty far north.
They're everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
So pretty much covering all of the habitats, all of the areas, all over Australia, and all of a sudden now they're being seen anywhere. The chances are, if you're keen to see them and you're in Australia, or you come to Australia, things like the right habitats by beaches and sand and heath and stuff, if you have a look, get on your hands and knees, you probably find some. The amount of times I've just been out randomly on a shoot and then had a quick look on the floor, and lo and behold, there's a peacock spider. So they're healthy and they're everywhere.
Yeah, most of the places we've taken you, we haven't really walked into the bush too far, have we? We've been in the main tracks that anyone would be walking on if they're going to a reserve, and we've been seeing dancers on the edge of tracks, and people at work ask me all the time, where do you go for these? I'm like, man, they're down on the beaches in Mandurah, they're up on top of Bluff Knoll, they're just everywhere. So you don't need to be going out to these crazy hospitable places to find them, which is cool, yeah.
So that's some of the sort of facts around some of the spiders. What about some of your sort of personal favourites? Have you got species that are your favourite to watch dance, that you've recorded, that have got sort of your favourite dance? Because everyone, as you may or may not know, they've all got different abdomens and different patterns on their abdomens. They dance slightly differently, and you're constantly learning about this as you view them, right?
Obviously, the copulation video of Jennifer that Paul Irvine discovered.
Oh, the Jennifer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was awesome. Just because generally, if there's a copulation going on, I'd usually just go for stacks and stuff like that. But I remember Paul saying something about a lot of pumping and gyrating going on as he's inserting the sperm. So I was like, all right. And as I saw this copulation, I just kept filming, and I got closer and closer, and you could see all his leg hairs raise up as he's kind of inserting his sperm package. So that was really cool. I didn't know that they did that, and so that's why.
Is that the first time they've probably been filmed copulating, or they have been?
No, they Jürgen and a lot of scientists probably have filmed that, but that's the first time I've seen it personally that close. Which is so cool, and that's what I love about this game. People like young Michael Lung, he'll find something out new, and he'll teach us things, and we'll teach him things. It's just everyone keeps coming up with these new ideas and these new finds every year. So yeah, it's awesome. As far as what my favourite species is, I think you might have said.
Yeah.
Probably the second species me and James discovered. It's been called Maratus nubilis, after Nubilus's cloud in Latin, I think.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's probably my favourite species, but it's probably the least colourful out of all Maratus. And Maratus are known for being colourful, so that's, there's a few species over here where people will just avoid going to because they're like, there's a lot better looking out there. But just the fact that the nubilis, the one we've found, it just has such a story. The way we found it is we're trying to get to a cooler looking swamp on Google Maps, and my van got bogged, so we'll have to stop here. And the sun was getting low, and James noticed a female Maratus on the track right under my car. And he goes, oh, it looks like a female Maratus. I was like, yeah, it does, yeah. And he goes, you know which one it is? I'm like, nah. And he goes, oh, take a photo, send it to Jürgen. I was like, all right. So I took a photo of her, sent her, and Jürgen was just like, oh, I have no records of that at all, out of all 100 that I've photographed. He goes, you should really look there in the morning. So we're like, all right. And we woke up the next morning and...
You'd camped there, did you?
Yeah, we camped where I got bogged, really. So yeah, it's pretty funny. And we got my van out, and then we looked on that track, and they were everywhere. These like little males just hopping around, and it's funny because when you start looking for Maratus, people tell you that, and this is December, right? This is like way beyond the end of the season usually. Mm-hmm. So people are like, yeah, that's too late. Don't look in the middle of the day, you know, all these things. And this Maratus was just on this white sand. It was well over 30 degrees, boiling.
Right.
And they were just dancing around peak season. And
oh, they were dancing as well.
Oh, they're hilarious. This was way before I filmed, so this year I'm gonna head back and film them.
Nice.
But yeah, I can't describe the feeling of getting a male and female in front of each other, and we see him open, and it's just like a sheep cloudy.
Oh, and he opens as well.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he opens, and it's got all this like white plumes that come out. This like real fluffy, probably the fluffiest Maratus. Like, no way. Crazy. And yeah, just shaking it all around like this big cotton ball, you know. And we just, both our jaws just dropped, and we knew straight away it was a new one. Nice. And we sent a few photos around, and yeah, everyone was like just gobsmacked by it. And
sick.
Yeah, even though it's probably the least colourful, it's just a really unique species of Maratus. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to link a few species together, a few groups together, just because it's so unique. So yeah, that was a really cool find.
Awesome. And what was the other one that you found?
Hasn't been described yet.
Okay.
That was from Capel. I think we might be going there tomorrow.
Okay, awesome.
And yeah, that was a really cool one too, where me and James for like a good month and a half were looking in some of the best bushland we could find. Nothing. And we went to this small town, Capel, which has so many orchid hunters go through this little reserve every year. So it's the last spot we kind of expected to find a new one. And towards the end of the day, I just see like this purple shimmer from a bush. And I'm like, what is that? And we go and look, and we take a photo. It's obviously a Vespa type Maratus.
Obviously.
And they're really cool. And we took a photo, sent it to a few scientists, and they just lost their minds, you know, sending a lot of swear words in all capitals. So we knew it was awesome. So yeah, that one's really cool as well. Being a Vespa type, they don't have a round display. It's just a normal display that has little triangular flaps that come out, and they kind of swoosh it and then open them alternating. Yeah, right. So it's quite a unique dance, and yeah,
well,
they're
hopefully
really cool.
We'll get some videos tomorrow, and then they'll be overlaying this video now.
Yeah, that'll work out well. Yeah,
yeah,
well,
if they're not here, then we failed.
We should do though, because their season's peaking right now, so we should definitely find some. Yeah.
Purple's my favourite colour as well, so I'll be well down for purple.
Nice.
So what's been some of the, now you're starting to do video, and I should say one of the things that's making this easy now is technology advancing, specifically the OM system 90mm, which you've also got. OM system were kind enough to lend me the lens for this trip, which has just been an absolute godsend, because the magnification and the ability to do the stacking just means that we can now view these things at crazy high detail. And again, for you, it's changed how you've been able to film them. It's allowed you to get these sort of footage, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I still love my 60mm by Olympus. Mzuko, the 60mm is amazing, but just the reach on it, I had to be a lot closer with photos and filming. And with Maratus, if the guy's about to dance, you really don't want to disturb the scene at all. So if you get in the way of the sun, or you knock a stick that's somehow touching them, you know, typical macro things. But yeah, having that 90mm with the extended reach has just been amazing. Like, yeah, I can just be so much further away and still get that crisp detail. So yeah, I'm loving it. Really happy.
It's like anything. It's amazing being able to go out with people such as Flynn and Michael, who just have this experience. Because like I'm really fortunate to have a couple of peacock spiders in my garden, and I filmed them and taken pictures of them. but I just had no baseline of really what was going on. And then watching you guys work, I can't wait to now go home and sort of apply the way that you've approached it and how you've got them to come together, and the knowledge of the experience that you've had that you've been able to pass on to me has been super invaluable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I've managed to get like your year's worth of knowledge really quickly. So I'm super excited to try and get out and film some of them. Do you know how many species have you got? Have you got them logged or ticked off or?
Yeah, so it's probably around 40 species I've seen. Yeah, I think we've got like 50 or 60 in WA all together right now.
The highest concentration.
Yeah,
here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Down in the Mount Romance area, you know, if you've got all those Project Maratus boys wanting to come over here all the time, because you can just stay on the same track through this national park and you can see 10 species that are all so unique on this same track. You just go to the next swamp. So that's why there's still so many people getting excited about discovering new ones, because we keep realizing how much is still out there to be found. So yeah, it's really fun, really exciting time.
Awesome. And I think we're going to see even more video from you. You were saying to me the other day that you because you've been doing so a lot of the scientific work and spent hours searching for them and collecting them for science, it really didn't allow you to get a lot of sort of photographic work.
Yeah.
So you're really like happy to be hammering that at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the scientists still want some help this season as well. And I'll still try and get out to some new bush to look for some new ones. But yeah, definitely going to get a lot more videos this year. So yeah, look forward to that.
Nice. Well, I don't know if my videos are going to be able to rival Flynn's, but hopefully I've got some good shots and a couple of videos, and we'll definitely be looking forward to posting some of those. Is there anything that you have sort of observed or found, or something about the spiders that you think's unique or interesting, or like a behavioural thing that you either want to tell people about, or that is sort of the reason that it's capturing your heart, other than, you know, the clearly very beautiful iridescence that they have?
Maybe just the fact that we're kind of just seeing that even if it's the same species as the next area that's found in, they're still changing so quickly. Like they're evolving almost before our eyes, you know, like, and you can almost see why there's so many different species, because they don't seem to stay the same species for very long. So yeah, there's just so many different variations with the same species, so you can kind of see, the evolution, which is really cool.
I thought what I found was really crazy was, so like I just see a colourful spider and it's like, oh, the peacock's ready. But since coming here, I've learned obviously spiders molt, and as they molt, they get closer to their colour. And you're saying, like, oh, this is one molt away from being in colour. And now you're like, you're showing me spiders that are gravid, so they are fertilised and have ready to start making egg sacs or laying eggs into their egg sacs. And then you're saying they're like juvenile, or they're now primed and they're ready, and they're virgins. Like crazy things that all, as I was saying earlier, like just comes into the knowledge of being able to photograph these better. Which I just wouldn't have known that, and I think that a lot of people just wouldn't know that. And being able to be in the field and getting that sort of knowledge, your rate in which you can actually find out how likely two subjects, a male and a female, are going to mate is just getting more and more. Hey, we're just learning so much while out there. Yeah,
and it's like, I'm just going to give props to the community over here. That everyone that does it in WA are just so awesome. You know, we've got some group chats going, and like we all just share what we find with each other every year, and it just helps everyone. Like it's so cool. And as you're saying, like just the amount of time we spend with them, we see a lot of things, so it's really cool. It's cool to share it as well with you guys.
Yeah, right. It's such a great thing for the community here. Like macro is reasonably niche and getting bigger, but we're all bonding over loads of different stuff. And for macro photographers, especially in WA, to all have like a common goal and to be sharing stuff and working together, I think like the relationship that you have with Paul and with Woz and with Michael, like you're really out there doing kind of like the discovering of stuff and learning about things. Like I'm jealous. I'm super jealous, and I think any macro photographer that had that around their sort of clique in their group would, be absolutely stoked. So just perfect, really. All right. Well, a little bit of an impromptu interview. Really, just want to have a little chat with Flynn and just have a place to show off loads of the work that you have, because you put out a couple of reels and so on, but I think it's really good to be able to actually have one point of focus to help show some of the diversity of these, because they're crazy diverse, and as you said, we're just discovering more and more species. So long may it continue, and hopefully you discover some more, and maybe I'll be lucky, maybe I'll discover.
You never know, mate.
Cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out any more of Flynn's work, check him out on Instagram. Your thing is?
Just Flynn_Prall.
It's Flynn_Prall, and you'll see some just amazing videos on there. Thanks very much.
Sweet. Thanks for having me, man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.